If you don't like how I live my life, leave, she said before going clubbing with her best guy. So I did. Packed everything I own while she was dancing. When she got back at 3 a.m. expecting a fight, she found empty closets and a note. "You're right, I don't like it," so I left. Hey viewers, before we move on to the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. Thanks. Hey Reddit. Throwaway account for obvious reasons. I'm writing this because, well, honestly, I need to get it out. It's been a wild ride. And looking back, it's almost like one of those stories you read and think, no way that happened. But it did to me. I'm Alex, 28, a software developer who's always prided himself on being the steady guy. The one who shows up, pays the bills, and builds a future. And Sarah, she was my girlfriend of 3 years. Or at least I thought she was building that future with me. We met back in college at a mutual friends party. She was this vibrant, outgoing art major who lit up the room with her laugh. I was the quiet engineering student in the corner, nursing a beer and trying not to spill it on my laptop. Somehow we clicked. She said I grounded her, made her feel safe. I fell hard. After graduation, when she struggled to find steady work in her field, bouncing between freelance gigs and waitressing, I stepped up. I got a solid job at a tech firm and we moved in together into a cozy apartment in the city. I covered most of the rent so she could focus on her passion projects, painting, photography, whatever sparked her that week. At first, it was great. I'd come home from long coding sessions and she'd have dinner ready, or we'd binge-watch shows curled up on the couch. But over time, things shifted. Sarah started going out more. Girls' nights that turned into all-nighters. She'd come back smelling like smoke and cheap cocktails, crashing into bed without a word. I didn't mind at first. Everyone needs space. But then came the comparisons. "Why can't you loosen up like my friends?" she'd say during arguments. "You're always so predictable." It stung, but I brushed it off. I loved her. I thought we were a team. Flashback to about 6 months ago. I remember one night vividly. I just pulled an all-nighter fixing a bug for a big client deadline. Exhausted, I got home to find her dolled up, scrolling through her phone. She mentioned she was heading out with some friends, including this guy, Jake, her best guy friend from work. Jake was the bartender at the place she waitressed part-time, always posting shirtless gym selfies online, the kind of guy who thrived on attention. I'd met him a few times. He seemed harmless, but something about how Sarah lit up when she talked about him made my gut twist. That night, I suggested we stay in instead. "We've barely seen each other this week," I said, trying to keep it light. "Maybe order pizza, watch that movie you've been talking about." She rolled her eyes, applying another layer of lipstick in the mirror. "Alex, not tonight. Jake's DJing at this club downtown. It's going to be epic. You should come loosen up for once." I hesitated. Clubs weren't my scene. The crowds, the noise, it drained me after a long day. But more than that, I didn't like how cozy she was getting with Jake. I'd seen the texts pop up on her phone. Emojis, inside jokes. "I'm just worried," I admitted. "You and Jake seem really close lately. Is there something I should know?" That's when it escalated. She spun around, her expression a mix of annoyance and smugness. "Worried about what, Alex? That I'm having fun without you? Jake's just a friend. He gets me. He lives life. Doesn't sit around coding all day." I felt a pain in my chest, but I stayed calm. "I'm not trying to control you, Sarah. I just feel like we're drifting. You've been out every weekend, and when you're home, you're on your phone. It makes me feel like I'm not enough." She laughed, a sharp, dismissive sound that cut deep. "Not enough. Maybe you're right. If you don't like how I live my life, leave. I'm not changing for anyone. I'm young. I want excitement, not this boring routine. Jake invites me out because he knows how to have fun. If you're jealous, that's on you." Her words hung in the air like a slap. I stood there stunned as she grabbed her purse and headed for the door. "Don't wait up," she tossed over her shoulder with a smirk. "I'll be back late." I didn't beg, I didn't yell. Something inside me just clicked off. For months I'd been pouring everything into us, skipping happy hours with coworkers to be home for her, turning down a promotion that would have meant relocating because she didn't want to move. And this was what I got, dismissed like a nagging parent. As the door slammed shut, I sat on the couch staring at the wall. The confusion hit hard. Why was I the villain for wanting stability, for loving her enough to build something real? I thought about all the times I'd sacrificed. The weekend trip I canceled because she had a crisis at work, only to find out later she went out with friends instead. The way she'd post photos online of her nights out, captioning them living my best life while I was home alone wondering if I fit into that life anymore. But that night her words echoed, "If you don't like how I live my life, leave." Fine. I would. I started packing methodically, quietly. My clothes from the closet, books from the shelves, the few gadgets that were mine. I left her stuff untouched, the paintings on the walls, the knickknacks she'd collected. I even left the shared furniture. I didn't want to fight over petty things. By 1 a.m. my car was loaded. I scrolled a note on a sticky pad and left it on the kitchen counter. "You're right, I don't like it, so I left. Take care." No drama, no accusations, just detachment. I drove to a buddy's place a couple of hours away. He'd offered his couch any time, and I crashed there. My phone was on silent. For the first time in years, I felt a strange sense of peace amid the hurt. The next morning, my phone blew up. Missed calls, texts, dozens from Sarah. I ignored them at first, nursing a coffee and trying to process. The confusion lingered. Had I overreacted? Was I the one throwing it all away? But no. Her words replayed in my head. She'd made it clear I was optional. A backup to her exciting life with Jake. Around noon, I finally picked up when she called for the nth time. My voice was steady, no trace of the emotional storm inside.
"Alex, what the hell?"
She burst out, her tone a mix of shock and anger. "I come home at 3 a.m. and the place is half empty. Your stuff's gone, and that note? Are you serious?" "Yes, Sarah, I am." She paused like she expected me to backpedal. "This is ridiculous. You packed up and left because I went out. You're acting like a child. Jake and I were just dancing, having fun. Nothing happened. You're overreacting to nothing." "Nothing," I echoed, keeping my cool. "You've been pulling away for months, late nights, constant texts with him making me feel like I'm holding you back. You told me if I didn't like it to leave, so I did." Her voice shifted, laced with that twisted logic she'd mastered. "Okay, fine. Maybe I've been distant, but relationships have ups and downs. You can't just bail without talking. Jake's fun. Yeah, but he's not you. You're the stable one, the one I come home to. Don't you get that? I need both. Excitement and security. Monogamy is outdated anyway. Everyone experiments. If you're insecure about it, that's your issue. Come back and we can work it out. I'll cut back on going out." I almost laughed at the hypocrisy. She wanted me as the safety net while she lived her life. No apologies, justifications. "No, Sarah, we're done. I deserve better than being your backup plan." "Backup? That's not fair. You're twisting everything. Jake gets that life isn't all serious. He doesn't judge me for wanting fun. If you loved me, you'd fight for us, not run away like a coward." Her words stung, but I didn't bite. "Goodbye, Sarah." I hung up, blocked her number, and that was it. No outburst, no pleading, just the end. The days after blurred into a haze of unfairness. I crashed on my buddy's couch, staring at the ceiling, replaying every sacrifice. Like the time I loaned her money for art supplies, only for her to blow it on a weekend getaway with friends, Jake included, I later realized. Or how she'd post vague, disrespectful things online, like memes about boring boyfriends that her followers laughed at while I pretended not to notice. It felt so undeserved. I'd been loyal, committed, and for what? To be discarded like yesterday's news. I didn't confront her or lash out. Instead, I focused on me. Got a cheap motel room for a week, then found a sublet in a city a few hours away. Transferred within my company. No promotion needed, just a fresh start. I hit the gym, reconnected with old friends, even started therapy to unpack the confusion. Why had I let myself be mistreated for so long? The silence was deafening at first, but slowly it turned into clarity. I wasn't the problem. Her entitlement was. Meanwhile, I heard bits through mutuals, though I didn't ask. Sarah spun the story. I was the controlling jerk who abandoned her, but cracks showed. Jake. Turns out he wasn't the best friend. She claimed they'd hooked up that night at the club, and it spiraled from there. She moved in with him impulsively, quitting her job for more freedom. But Jake was unstable. Partying hard, bouncing between gigs with a temper when things got real. It didn't take long for the karma to roll in, though I wasn't chasing updates. A couple of weeks after I left, a mutual friend, Mike, reached out. He was one of the few who didn't buy Sarah's spin. "Dude, you okay?" he texted. "Things are imploding over here." I kept it brief. "I'm good. What's up?" Over a quick call, he filled me in. Sarah had gone all in with Jake that night at the club. Yeah, it wasn't just dancing. They'd hooked up and she paraded it around like some victory. Posted cryptic stories online about new beginnings and embracing freedom. But Jake wasn't the knight she imagined. He was a serial partier, crashing from one high to the next with a string of exes who'd bailed for good reason. Unstable didn't cover it. He'd blow up over nothing. Ghost for days, then reel her back in with charm. At first, Sarah quit her waitressing gig, convinced Jake's connections would land her something better in the art scene. They shacked up in his rundown place downtown, living off his bartending tips and whatever she had left in savings. But reality hit fast. Jake started showing his true colors, verbal jabs when she asked for commitment, using her for rides and cash, then ditching her for other women at parties. One night, it escalated. He trashed the place in a rage after she questioned a late-night text from an ex. She called the cops but downplayed it to friends. "Just a rough patch," she said. Her unraveling picked up speed. Without a job, bills piled up. Mutual friends started distancing themselves when the truth leaked. Sarah had been emotionally cheating for months, bad-mouthing me behind my back to justify it. "Alex is too safe," she'd say. "I need passion." But now, with Jake flaking, she was isolated. Her posts shifted from triumphant to vague cries for help. When life throws curveballs, comments dried up. People saw through it. I heard about her hitting rock bottom through another grapevine update a month in. Evicted from Jake's after he kicked her out mid-fight, claiming she was too clingy. He moved on to the next fling, leaving her scrambling. She crashed with her sister, but that blew up quick. Family drama, with her mom enabling but offering no real help. Broke, jobless, reputation in tatters. Friends who cheered her glow up now ghosted, realizing she'd burned bridges. Through it all, I stayed detached. No gloating, no checking her socials. The middle of this mess was tough for me too. The silence after the storm. I'd wake up in my new sublet, a small studio with bare walls, and feel the weight of it. Confusion lingered. How had I missed the signs? The late nights I'd excused as stress relief. The way she'd compare me to Jake's adventurous vibe, making me feel like a lesser man. Flashback to last Christmas. I'd surprised her with a custom easel for her art, scraped together from overtime pay. She gushed, "Thanks." But weeks later it gathered dust while she partied. Undeserved, all of it. I let myself sit with the unfairness, journaling it out in therapy sessions. "You were loyal," my therapist said. "She wasn't, that's on her." Slowly my arc shifted. I threw myself into work. Nailed a project that earned me a raise, joined a hiking group, made new friends who valued reliability over chaos, started dating casually. Nothing serious, but it reminded me I wasn't boring, just steady. The internal fog cleared. I wasn't confused anymore. I was free. Sarah's attempts to crawl back started subtle, then snowballed into desperation. I'd unblocked her after a few weeks. Curiosity maybe, or just to close the loop. First came the texts about a month after I left, ping after ping late at night. "Hey Alex, can we talk? I miss our talks. I know I messed up. Jake was a mistake, let's meet." I ignored them. No response was my response. Then the calls ramped up. One evening my phone rang while I was cooking dinner in my new place. I let it go to voicemail, but curiosity won. I listened later. "Alex, pick up please. Things with Jake, they're not what I thought. He used me." "Okay. Dumped me like trash. I see now how good we had it. You were always there. Call me back." No sympathy stirred in me. She'd chosen this. A week later, it escalated. She showed up at my old workplace. Must have gotten the address from a mutual, but I transferred, so she hit a dead end. Instead, she enlisted her toxic crew. Her best friend, Lisa, always the enabler, texted me. "Sarah's hurting bad. Be a man and hear her out. She's family to us." I replied curtly, "Not my problem." Then came the family ambush. Her mom called from an unknown number. I answered, thinking it was work. "Alex, this is Karen, Sarah's mom. You need to talk to her. She's devastated. How could you just vanish like that? After everything she's been through, I kept my tone even. She told me to leave if I didn't like her life. I didn't, so I left. Karen huffed, unpleasant as ever. "That's childish." Relationships take work. Sarah's young. She made a mistake. Jake's a loser, but you're stable. Come back and fix this. Her sister's fed up with her crashing there. Sarah needs you. I almost hung up, but I stayed firm. No, we're over. Sarah must have been listening because she grabbed the phone. Alex, Mom's right. I was stupid. Okay, I thought Jake was exciting, but he hit me verbally. Left me broke. I realize now you were the real deal. Please, let's start over. I'll change. Her voice cracked, but it was laced with that same manipulation. Excuses, not ownership. You said monogamy was outdated. I reminded her calmly that I was holding you back. Enjoy your freedom. She turned angry then, true colors flashing. Freedom. Look where it got me. Alone, while you're off playing victim. How dare you block me, ignore me. You're selfish, Alex. I gave you 3 years. Gave me? I echoed. You took. Goodbye. Click. The attempts peaked with her showing up at Mike's place. He'd slipped and mentioned I stayed there briefly, pounding on the door at 10 o'clock p.m. Reeking of desperation, Mike texted me a heads up. I wasn't there, but he related later. She ranted, "Tell Alex to man up. I need him. Everything's falling apart because of him." No more after that. Radio silence for a while. Fast forward 6 months. I'd built a solid life. Promotion at work, a nicer apartment, even met someone new. Emily, a graphic designer who appreciated my steady side without mocking it. No chaos, just mutual respect. I was invited to Mike's wedding, a small outdoor affair in a park a few hours from the old city. Mutual friends would be there, including some who'd known Sarah. I went feeling evolved, not vengeful. She showed up uninvited, crashing through a side gate during the reception. Disheveled, hair messy, dress rumpled like she'd driven straight from whatever hole she was in. Eyes scanned the crowd until they locked on me, laughing with Emily at our table.
Alex!
She called, weaving through guests. Heads turned. Whispers started. She reached me, breathless. We need to talk now. I stood calm as ever, Emily by my side, looking puzzled but supportive. Sarah, this isn't the place. Her eyes flicked to Emily, then back. Desperation poured out. Who's she? Whatever. Alex, please, I'm sorry for everything. Jake ruined me. I'm in therapy now, working on myself, lost my friends, my job, but you... We were good, remember? Give me another chance. Guests stared. Mike shot me a concerned look from afar, but I felt nothing. No pity, no anger, just indifference. Sarah, I said firmly, voice steady. You've been irrelevant to me for months. I built this life without your drama. You told me to leave if I didn't like it. I did, and I'm thriving. Emily here, she's part of that. Go live your life. Mine doesn't include you. She gaped, hypocrisy cracking through. Thriving with her. You're just replacing me to spite me. I deserve better than this rejection. No, I replied, the reversal clear in the air. You deserve what you chose. Goodbye. She stormed off, muttering curses as friends murmured about her nerve. Later, Mike confided. She's hit bottom, couch surfing, begging for gigs. Seeing you happy, that broke her. But for me, it was closure. Walking away from that wedding, hand in hand with Emily, I felt free. Sarah was a ghost from a past life. Forgotten. Powerless. I'd vanished from her world and built something unbreakable in mine. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. What do you think about this story? Share it in the comments.